Up till now, we have discussed few things. Let me write it here. So we have discussed, first of all, we have discussed why economics. So why economics is important. So this was the uh, so that was the first chapter. So we discussed why economics, and we added few topics in it, like we discussed its terms, and we discussed graphs, and we end up with defining microeconomics. Okay, so it means this chapter will be mostly related to definitions, because we discuss terms, and graphs will come in the MCQ type questions. So it may come in quiz, uh, and then microeconomics. So this chapter is important for short questions in your midterm exam. Then we discussed the first issue that we have is the scarcity for seller. So seller is facing scarcity. And what is the scarcity? That his resources are limited, or the resources are scarce. So how he can solve this problem? So that we discussed PPF. That this method helps him to find the best production point, so that he can make sure that his resources are not wasted, and he is able to uh, maximize the output. So this way, this was a topic that we discussed. Today we are starting with a point that is scarcity for buyer. So how he will handle his scarcity? What is his scarcity? He needs unlimited goods. PPF means production possibility frontier. This was discussed in previous two classes, previous three classes. So production possibility frontier. So scarcity for buyer is, we have they need unlimited needs and wants, but the problem is their income is scarce. So the income resource is relatively low. So now we have described, we are in this chapter we'll try to find how we can manage our income to maximize happiness. So we assume that the more goods we consume, more happy we are. So this is the definition of economics in terms of a consumer. So in terms of a consumer, economics is a study that helps them to manage their income to maximize their happiness. So in this topic, we'll be focusing on these terms. Okay, so let's start with today's topic. Let me clear the screen. So let's go to next slide. So economics tells us about how to manage our unlimited resources and for our unlimited wants. So when we are a consumer agent, as a consumer agent in the society, we have unlimited goods and services. So we need to buy, but we have limited income. So she is saying that as a consumer, the this is our target, and but this is our issue. So we have to manage our issue in a way that we can achieve our target. We can achieve more targets. So if we don't have any method, so what will happen? We will not know how we are performing. So let me write it here. So the idea behind is studying a method is, so we have studied PPF method. Now we are studying consumer behavior. So the idea behind studying a method is that we are able to know how how are we performing in terms of achieving our needs and wants with respect to our income resource. So since we do not have any, if we do not have any method, we will not know that what is the performance, uh, what is the performance. So we need a benchmark, we need a point so that we can assess that how we are performing, so that we can perform better, or we can find ways to perform better. So it will help us to find ways to perform better. So this is the idea behind it. So first of all, we as a economics tells us that it is helping consumer agent to increase the consumption of goods and services from the resources that he have. So now we are coming towards like consumer economics. So studying consumer response to condition is called consumer behavior. So the term consumer behavior is that we will be studying that if the incomes and in prices of the goods and other environment changes, how consumer responds. So in this chapter, we will discuss the decisions faced by the consumer agent when he's going to buy goods and services. So what are the issues that he faces and how he can perform better in the situation. So this is the preface of this topic. Let's go to the next point. So the idea started with the definition by Bentham. So Bentham said it gave a utility theory. So according to him, what gives pleasure is good and causes pain is bad. So he's defined as that the things that will make us happy are good for us, and the things that give us pain are bad for us. So it means he has defined a good and a bad in economics. This good or bad or right or wrong were to be determined by the measurable criteria of pleasure and pain. So it means he says that if you're comparing two goods, means this is G1 and G2. So if G1 is giving more pleasure, means more, it has higher happiness value, then it means it is good, more good for us. And if G2 has a lower happiness, it is not good for us. So if we compare like happiness from G1 is greater than happiness from G2, it means we will like to get G1 if we have to choose between G1 or G2. So because of scarcity, if we have to choose between G1 or G2, so if G1 is giving more happiness, then we will select G1. And if G2 is giving more happiness, we will select G2. So Bentham gave us this idea that we will measure the need from the happiness that we receive. So the more we need, the more happiness we have. For example, if we are thirsty, then water will give us more happiness as compared to a burger, because we need water right now. But if we are hungry, then the burger will give us more happiness than maybe a rough copy or a ball pen. So if somebody is giving you a ball pen, so or a pencil, so the things that you needed most will give you more happiness at that time. So he is giving us this idea. Okay, so let's move on to. So the concept of the need is practical. Okay. So the concept of the need is practical and the concept of want is subjectivity. So the question that came in the start of our course was, what is the difference between need and want? So here it is defined. So need means everything that is practical, means you need water, you need food, and you need shelter and clothing. So shelter and clothing included. So shelter, clothing. So these are things that every human needs. So it is practical that if somebody is asking for this, we know that he is actually asking things that are actually needed. So without them, they might not survive. So, okay, so these are practical, and the want means the things that are individual specific. Individual specific. CIF specific. What does it mean? That, for example, some of you are in a hostel. So you say that we don't have internet in our hostel. So you that we want internet connection so that we can attend the class. So that internet connection is only specific for your case, because not everyone want internet because they might already have, or they are coming to UMT to get the classes. So wants are specific to individual, means they might change if the individual changes, but the needs are common for everyone. So this is the difference. For example, you are coming from very far, you need a motorbike so that you can reach the university, but some other person is living nearby, he can come on a bus or he can come by foot. So the person who is coming on a bus might want a bus service, coming on a bike might want a motorbike, a person coming on a by foot might not want those things, might want some more, some other thing, might good shoes, or maybe an umbrella for rainy season, might be a good cap so that he can get a shade in the summers. So I think hopefully it is different, clear now what is difference between need and want. Okay, so needs are generally same, that's I've seen. So if you interview every people, their needs will be generally same, but the wants of each people might be different. So it can be different that somebody likes tea and somebody likes coffee, somebody likes green tea. So if you interview teachers, somebody is drinking coffee, somebody is drinking tea, somebody drinking green tea. So their wants are different in that term, but on other side they need water every day, they need office space to teach. So the needs are common and the wants are different from each other. Okay, so this is the basic differences in economics. Okay, so we will study this topic, consumer behavior, and it has two major subtopics that we are studying. First is cardinal utility and other is ordinal utility. So there are two ways to solve our problem. So we will study both. So there are two subtopics each in this chapter. So these are topics that we'll study. So the basic difference is that cardinal approach says us that the happiness is measurable. So if you are drinking tea, so you can measure how much happy you are from that tea. So and its units will be utils. So it means somebody can say that I have 10 utils of happiness while drinking tea. Okay. So what does it mean? That this approach is saying us that we can measure happiness, and but ordinal approach says that it is not measurable, but we can only rank it. So he can say that happiness from coffee is more than happiness from tea, but he don't know what is the number. This says that happiness of coffee is better than happiness from tea because happiness of coffee is 12 and happiness from tea is 10. So in terms of number, we are more happy because we have a bigger number. Okay, so that's why we can find out which is better. But here we can only rank it. We don't know how better coffee was. So this is two basic logics that we use to find solution to our problems. Okay, so we will come back to it in detail, but the basic difference is cardinal approach says that you can measure it, and you can give a number, and then the bigger number means more happy. Ordinal says you cannot measure it, but you can rank it. So you will know that coffee is better than tea, but don't know how better. Here you know that coffee is 2 units better. Okay, so 12 minus 10 equal to 2. So 2 units better. Here you don't know how much difference. So let me point it here in writing. So in ordinal approach, you will not know how better coffee is as compared to tea, but so not know how much. So, but only know that it is better. So this is the difference. So in cardinal, what you will know is that in cardinal we know in cardinal we will know how better we are in coffee, better happy we are in better, let's say happy we are in coffee as compared to tea. So first theory says that we will have an answer that it is 2 units better. But second says that we don't know how better, but at least we know that coffee is good, but how good, kitni zyada achhi hai, we don't know. Okay. So this is the basic difference. Then the terms we'll cover it up when we'll go towards this topic. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so next point that we are discussing is how to measure happiness. So we are actually starting with
Yes,
uh,
sir.
we are starting with how to we are starting with the topic of cardinal utility. So the topic that we are discussing is measure of happiness. Okay, so how to measure the happiness. So let's see. So in cardinal we have to measure. So now we are discussing that how we can measure. So the word utility in economics means happiness or satisfaction that a consumer agent has received. So let me prove it. So consumer agent has received when he or she gets the goods which he needs or wants. Okay, so the idea is that the goods that he need when he is getting them, so he that the achievement of getting those things will be shown in terms of happiness or satisfaction, and the units of happiness or satisfaction is utility, or the common term for happiness is utility, or it also means what we call it usefulness. So the more the goods and needs and wants are useful, the more happy or satisfied we will be, higher utility we will get. So happiness word depends upon utility is actually a word for usefulness. So more utility we have because more happy or satisfied we are. So now we define the total utility is a sum of all utilities received from each unit consumed of good. So suppose we have consumed 10 units of goods. So utility from all 10 will be total utility. So it means utility from 1 plus utility from 2 plus utility from 3 and so on till utility from 10. That will be equal to total utility. Okay, so the utility that we received from all the goods will be called total utility. So it will be the total satisfaction or total happiness that we received after that activity. So suppose we went to eat what you call it halwa puri, and you had 3 puris. So utility from each puri will be different, but the total utility will be the utility from first puri and second puri and third puri. So that will be equal to total utility. So this is the first term that is important in our discussion, the total happiness that we received from that activity. So we want that. So our goal is to make sure that this is highest possible. as a economic agent, as a consumer agent, our goal is that wherever we do, our total utility should be highest. That is important for us. Okay. So secondly, the next term is marginal utility. So marginal utility is the happiness, or the in number means utility, in terms of the utility is happiness in number, in terms of happiness received by consuming one extra unit of good. So it means that if you have 10 units of good that you consumed, the utility from seventh good is suppose x, so that will be marginal utility of 7. So I will call it mu7, that will be equal to x, and tu7 will be tu1 plus tu2 plus tu3 plus tu4. So marginal gives us the utility from the last item you used. Okay, so how you, it tells us how you ended, how it was ended. So it means if you had three puris while eating halwa puri, so the third puri is giving us some number, and marginal utility is the number that is telling us. So and total is the sum of three, and marginal is the last one. So these are two different things. So hopefully it is clear now that what is difference between total and marginal. Marginal will give us the utility for the last one or any number that we ask for. And the total is the sum of all previous. So let's go to next slide. There is some numerical solve for it so that it is clear for you that what is difference between marginal and total. So here what we are doing is, so let's take questions first. So Miss Kashyap, please ask.
सर ये थ्री काइंड्स की डेफिनेशंस हैं
किसकी 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 6 डेफिनेशन है? मैं माइक
सर ये लास्ट स्लाइड पे आपने एक्सप्लेन किया ना थ्री टाइप्स की
छह टाइप
कैन यू
में
प्लीज
लास्ट
ओपन
स्लाइड.
द लास्ट स्लाइड.
हाँ जी, कहाँ 6 टाइप्स लिखे?
नो सर मैं कह रही हूँ कि 3 टाइप्स की डेफिनेशंस हैं ये, या तीनों कुछ अलग अलग प्रेजेंट कर रही हैं, क्योंकि लॉजिक्स तो तीनों के सेम आ रहे हैं.
नहीं, हाँ तो तीन, एक तो वर्ड है ना यूटिलिटी के, वो होता है यूजफुलनेस. देन देयर इज उसी को ही दो तरह मेजर करते हैं, एक टोटल एक मार्जिनल. मेजरमेंट के टूल्स है ना दोनों
जी.
है. सो दोनों अपना कोई ना कोई पर्पस बता रहे हैं, तो अगले कैलकुलेशन में वो चीज आ जाएगी. ठीक है
जी ओके सर.
Okay. So let's see. So let's go to next. So in this activity, calculate the marginal and total utilities and fill the missing values. So the total utility is the sum of total utility one step up plus marginal utility in the row. So let's discuss it here. So suppose you eat 10 units of goods. So total marginal utility is the utility from that item. So first unit will give you 10 units of utility. Second is giving you 8. So total first unit is total 10. It will be same because there is only one product. But at total what it will be? It will be 10 plus 8. So 18. So total is sum of all previous. Marginal is utility from that item only. So this 8 is actually because of this item, second item only. And this is because of, let me change the color here. So this is because of these two items together. So total will give you a bundle and marginal will give you the last one. So here let's go. So for third, the total utility is 10 plus 18 plus 24. Means 24 is actually 10 plus 8 plus this number. So if you don't have the value of total, how you can calculate is add all previous 10 plus 8. If you don't have the marginal, how you can calculate it? So 24 minus 18. So that will be how much? That will be 6. So total with, so how we calculate it? So I will write a formula here. So total utility at third item minus total utility at second item is equal to marginal utility at third item. So I did 24 minus 18 is equal to 6. Okay, this way you can calculate. So let me add one more so that you can do the remaining, and then I will take questions. So 80, 28 is 24, 28 minus 4 is 4, then 30 minus 28 is 2, then 0, then these numbers are negative. So 30, how you can add it? You already know this number, so it will be 30 plus minus 2, that will be 28. Then 28 minus 4 is 24, and then so on. So this way you can calculate total utility if marginal is given, or you can calculate marginal if total is given. So you can do any way around. So in this table, one more thing to note is that for 0 units of food, you will have 0 marginal utility and 0 total utility. So it means you have a starting point which is common, and then you move up. So the formula for total is that you add the so this term, what is the symbol for this term? That is total utility at product 2. So this is the symbol for this empty cell. And what is the formula for it is that is total utility at 1 plus marginal utility at product 2. So total utility at 1 is what? 10. It is given this value, and plus marginal utility as 2 is also given, that is this value. So 10 plus 8 is equal to 18. So I have given you a symbol. So let me clear it again. First of all, I will add all the symbols. So this term is total utility 1, total utility 2, total utility 3, total utility 4, so on. This is marginal utility 1, marginal utility 2, marginal utility 3, and so on. So the formula for this is total utility 2 is equal to total utility 1 plus marginal utility 2. And we have the answer. Now we have marginal utility 3 unknown. So the formula for that is, let me write somewhere here. So marginal utility 3 is equal to total utility 3 minus total utility 2. So that will be 24 total 23, and we already know it is 18. So 24 minus 18. So that will be how much? 6. So we will have 6. Similarly, it will be 28 minus 24. That is 4. 30 minus 28, 2. 30 minus 30 is 0. So now we do it this way. So how can do is, so this is total utility 7. So total utility 7 is total utility 6 plus marginal utility 7. So that will be 30 plus, and marginal utility is minus 2. So brackets में minus 2 है, so it will go out, so that will be 30 minus 2, that will be 28. So we'll write 28 here. Similarly 24 and 18 and 10. So this way we can calculate the missing values.